Hi everyone and welcome to Introduction to Data Science. In this session today I am going to give you a quick overview of what is data science, why it matters and how we are going to use data science to solve real world problems. So let us first start with a simple question: what is data science? So data science is the study of data which is used to extract useful information and insights to take important business decisions. I can give you some of the definition of data science. Data science is a multidisciplinary field which uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, various tools and techniques, etc. to extract knowledge and information from the structured data. So in today's world, the data science is used in various industries to address real world challenges. Let me first giving some of the important applications where data science is used. The most important applications where we are applying data science are search engines, delivery logistics, transportation, drugs and medical development, medicine development, healthcare, gaming, entertainment. And a very important application is targeted recommendations. That is, based on the user behavior, the data science is going to show some ads in across various websites and apps. And one more important application is autocomplete, where it completes the automatic generation of words and phrases when we are typing in emails and other apps, etc. So, in order to make the data science field a success, we need a mix of statistics and domain knowledge as well as strong visualization tools. So, the key components of data science are statistics for analysis and the domain knowledge in various domains, and also the various tools and techniques which are used for analyzing and making the visualization of the insights from the data we analyzed. So, what is the life cycle of data science? The data science life cycle consists of 5 important stages, each with its own task. The first task, that's first stage of data science life cycle, is capture. So, this stage involves gathering data, that is whether structured or unstructured raw data, by means of various data capturing techniques like data acquisition, data entry and data extraction and other signal reception techniques. The second stage of the data science life cycle is maintain. In this stage, the data scientist prepare the data from its raw form to be used by subsequent stages, and using the techniques like data warehousing, data cleansing, data transformation, etc. And the third important stage in the data science life cycle is process, pre-process. Okay, so we are going to pre-process the data. The data scientists are going to extract the informations. They are going to identify the important patterns as well as the outliers, ranges, to determine how useful it will be in the predictive analysis of data to take the important decisions. And the fourth important stage is the very important crucial meat portion of the data science life cycle. So this is the real part of data science where the exact analysis is going to be done. So the data scientists are going to apply various analysis tools like descriptive analysis, predictive analysis, regression. So these type of techniques can be applied on data to get to extract useful insights. Okay. The final stage of data science life cycle is visualization. That is, what and all insights we collected from the data analyzed must be portrayed to the general real world in terms of reports, charts and various other visualization tools. So the data science founds various job roles in industries. The prominent job roles of data science are data scientist, data engineers, data analyst, data architects, statisticians, database administrators, then business analysts and analytics managers, etc. So what is the main role of a data scientist? Data scientist is a professional who is going to manage a large voluminous data by means of applying various tools, techniques, algorithms, processes and scientific methods to come up with useful insights of information from the data analyzed. So, a data scientist must be a well-versed person, okay, in various areas like statistics, machine learning, programming languages, data extraction and data processing tools, and data wrangling and data exploration, as well as big data framework, and also some other business analytics. And the tools which are used in data science, the common tools which are used in data science are the programming languages like Python, Java, R, and the frameworks like Hive, Hadoop, SAS, and the backend tools like SQL, NoSQL, and some of the other packages like Pandas, NumPy of Python, as well as this MATLAB. So a person should be very well versed in all these tools to be exploring while analyzing the data in data science. So one must know about what are the different stages of a data science project. Okay, so the data science project is having 5 different stages. The first important stage is defining the problem. The next one is data capturing and pre-processing, and the third one is analyzing, and the fourth one is evaluation, and the fifth one is visualization or communicating the results to the real world. That is called as a deployment. Okay, so in the last stage we are going to deploy the project we developed to the real world after thoroughly checked. Okay, so let us explore what are these stages one by one in detail. Okay, so the first stage of data science project is defining the problem. That is, we need to define what is the problem and how to solve this problem. Okay, so we need to address all these questions in an effective way. Then only we can easily handle and tackle it, and we can find it a proper solution and a successful solution. So one must define a clear and correct problem statement before analyzing the particular data. So the next important stage of this data science project is collecting the data, that is the data collection. So data collection can be termed as the process of collecting the data from various sources using many methodologies, many standard set of techniques. Okay, so the data, it's a very important task to collect prominent data. The data collection is of 2 types. One is called as primary data collection, and the next one is going to be called as secondary data collection. So the primary data is nothing but it refers to the data which are coming from the main source of data, that is directly from the external sources. Okay, so the primary data refers to the data that has never been used in the past. Okay, so the different examples, the different methodologies which are used to collect primary data are interviews, questionnaires, surveys and observations, etc. The secondary data is nothing but these data are already developed, are already created by somebody else. Okay, so the main examples of secondary data are government libraries, internet archives, etc. And the very important stage in the data science project is data pre-processing. So data need to be converted into a form from its raw format into a pattern, okay, which will be used by the further subsequent stages. Okay, this is involving many different pre-processing techniques like sampling. Okay, in the case of sampling, only a representative data from a large voluminous population is going to be retrieved. Okay, some other important pre-processing techniques are data transformation. So here I am going to apply the techniques like scaling and encoding and other techniques to transform data from one pattern to another pattern. Okay, then the additional techniques are called as imputation. Here I am going to synthesize the statistically relevant data for missing values. And one more pre-processing techniques is denoisifying. That is, I am going to remove the data from the data I collected. Okay. Then another technique is called as data normalization. So in the data normalization, I am going to organize the data set, okay, in order to make efficient access. And one more important pre-processing technique is feature extraction. Here I am going to use only useful features of the data to get meaningful insight during the process of data analysis. Okay, so here I have depicted the data pre-processing steps under various categories like data reduction, data transformation, data integration, as well as data cleaning. Okay, so in the data cleaning, okay, we need to concentrate about two things. One is removing the duplicate data, as well as we need to deal about the missing values in a very careful manner. And in the case of data transformation, as I told, I am going to apply, and the people who are going to apply scaling as well as encoding. And in data integration, I am going to use the methodologies called joining, merging, etc. And in the data reduction, I am going to deal with the missing values as well as dimensionality reductions in the case of multi-dimensional databases. Okay. Then this is the third important stage in the data science project, so analysis. So in this stage only, the data scientist people or data analyst people are going to apply various tools and techniques and methodologies like scientific methodologies and algorithms, okay, to collect useful insights from the data. So we are going to apply. Okay. So the main important various types of this data analysis are descriptive analysis, diagnostic analysis, predictive analysis, and prescriptive analysis. Descriptive analysis means it's just going to define what we are going to do. Okay, and in the case of diagnostic analysis, I should define about why it had happened. Okay, and in the case of predictive analysis, I am going to define what might happen if I am going to apply the analysis. And in the prescriptive analysis, I am going to suggest, okay, that is the data science algorithms as well as the models are going to suggest, okay, what should be done, okay, what are the remedies, what are the suggestions to be given to analyze the data in proper method. Okay, so in the data analysis phase, I am going to apply various different methodologies like exploratory data analysis, right, and then predictive analysis, regression, okay, text mining, and various other techniques, etc. Okay, in the case of exploratory data analysis, right, I am going to give a summary statistics of the data I am going to analyze using various summary tools and techniques like histograms, pivot tables, okay, pivot tables, and then box plots, scatter plots, etc. Okay, and in the case of statistical analysis, I am going to apply the very important prominent portions are the regression analysis and correlation analysis. Okay, in the correlation analysis, I am going to define the correlation coefficient. Okay, that is, correlation is nothing but I am going to specify the relationship between two variables. Okay, and in the case of one advanced technique is called as ANOVA, where I am going to apply the comparison, or I am going to find out the relationship between two or more group of data with the help of F ratios. So F ratios are nothing but the variance between the groups divided by the variance within the groups. Okay, the variance can be easily calculated. So we all know that we studied variance and standard deviation as the main important topics in statistics. Okay, so the statistical components like frequency distribution, the measures of central tendency like mean, mode, median, as well as standard deviation and variance are going to take part as the important component in data analysis. Okay, when I am applying some statistical tools. Okay, then once I analyze the data and I have prepared the model, this model should be evaluated. So I need to assess the model, the trained model, with some unseen data, okay, to test for its correctness. Okay, so this data evaluation ensures, okay, the critical deployment. It ensures whether it is working properly or not before the deployment stage of that last stage of our data science project. Okay, so this data evaluation stage helps whether it meets all the requirements in the right way or not. Okay, so the key the key questions addressed in model evaluations are how does the model performs, whether it is performed well or not. Okay. Whether it is overfitting or underfitting. Okay, I will explain what is overfitting and underfitting in the further session. Okay, and then can it generalize new data? That is whether this model addresses the new data when and where it received by the model. Okay. So what are the various evaluation techniques and metrics can be used? Okay, the different evaluation techniques and metrics used in data science are for clustering. I am going to use the methodology is called accuracy, precision, okay, and then two more important techniques called recall and F1 score. And in the case of regression analysis, I am going to use the metrics like mean squared error, root mean squared error, and mean absolute error. So these type of techniques will be used, okay, for evaluating the model to check whether it is working in the right manner or not. Okay, and then the one more matrix is called as confusion matrix. Okay, it summarizes the prediction results for the classified data. Okay, and the third one is cross validation. So the cross validation is nothing but I am going to test the model. Okay, that is I am going to test the model, that is to check whether the model is stable or not. Okay, by applying some other data, by training the model with some other data. Okay, and overfitting and underfitting. So overfitting is nothing but the model will be too complex. Okay, but in the case of underfitting, the model is too simple. Okay, so in the overfitting, what is going to happen is the model is training the data with high accuracy, but I am not getting the right answer. Okay, so that is the problem we are facing in the overfitting. And in the case of underfitting, okay, the model even not trains the simple data also. So these problems can be arised while evaluating the models. Okay. Right. So once the data science project model, the trained model is evaluated for its correctness, it need to be deployed to the real world, okay, to solve the real world problems and to address the real world challenges. Okay, so what are the various steps in the deployment? Okay, first I need to prepare the model. So what should I do? In the case of preparing the model, I should save the final version of the project I have developed. Okay, and then I have to choose a different deployment method, whether I should deploy the model using websites or app or using some other tools, whether I need to generate an application programming interface to deploy my model or not. So in various ways I can deploy my model. So in the second stage I have to choose what is the different deployment method I need to adopt. Okay, and the third one is I need to integrate the system. Suppose assume that there is already an existing system is working, so I need to attach my developed trained model to attach into that system, which is called as integrating with the existing system. And then next I need to check whether it is working properly or not with the real world data. So it is called as monitoring the performance of the evaluation stage. Okay, and then I need to maintain it. Okay, that is I need to update the system when and where it is needed based on the real world situation. Okay. So while talking about data science, we need to take two considerations about what is data security and data privacy, because whatever data are going to be processed, okay, must be preserved and protected from various threats we are going to face in the real world. Okay, so these two methodologies like data security and data privacy are two main concerns of data science field. Okay, so what is data security? Data security is nothing but protecting the data, okay, and preventing the data from loss due to unauthorized access or some malicious threats. Okay, then what is data privacy? So data privacy is nothing but just a small distinction between which data to be shared to third parties or which data not to be shared to third parties. That means who are the real authorized users and who are not the unauthorized users, that is who are not intended to use that data. Okay, so the two important concern about this data privacy are, one is access control and the next one is data protection. Okay, what is access control? Access control is nothing but it ensures, okay, the right person to access the data and which portion to access, okay, whether they are accessing only the authorized portion of data and for which they are allowed to access. Okay. And we all know that data protection is we are allowing only right people to access the right data. That means they are not allowed, okay, even, okay, if an unauthorized person, so in the data protection, even if an unauthorized user tries to access the data, they should not be able to view it or they should not cause damage to that data. Okay, so the various data security issues are, okay, first one is accidental exposure. In this, I am going to accidentally give the rights to some people to access the data. And phishing. Phishing is a cyber security attack in which some people tries to trick me, okay, to reveal my sensitive information like ATM pins and all, and password and other card informations, etc. So this is which is intended by some private companies or private parties. And one more data security risk is ransomware. We all know about what is a ransomware and data loss in the cloud, SQL injection and insider threats. Okay, this insider threats is somewhat an important major issue in data security. Okay, in the insider threats there are three types. One is non-malicious insider, that is that they are accidentally exposing the data without knowing they are sharing the data, they are sharing their account. Okay, and then in the malicious insider, some people were working inside the organizations, they are exposing the data, okay, for the sake of money and other fame and name, etc. Okay, and the compromised insiders are, they don't know about exposing their account. Okay, so accidentally they and it's not accidentally, they are unaware of exposing their account. That account is hacked by somebody else to reveal the information. So how to handle these data security issues? These are the main things we need to take care of. So data discovery and data classification. So in order to secure the data, one must identify where the data is available, where it is coming, what type of data I am using, and how it is going to be used in analysis. So everything I need. Okay, so if I know everything about it, then only I can save and protect my data. Okay, and the next important technique to save and to preserve the data is data masking. That is hiding important data, hiding the sensitive portion of the data with some secret values. And password hygiene, we all know that we should use strong passwords and all. And one more technique is data encryption. Data encryption is I am representing my term into I'm going to transfer my data into some secret code. And the final one is authentication as well as authorization. We all know that authentication is who is going to control and which data to be controlled. Okay, so these are the major data security issues we need to take care of when I am applying the data analysis process in the field of data science. Thank you.